even difficult for native speakers. What teachers and Yusika say about the NMT in English.
Scandal around the English test. Native speakers failed the NMT, and UCQA refutes this.
Native English speakers did not pass the NMT in this subject, Yusika responded to the experiment.
Is the English test for NTM really too difficult even for native speakers?
Native speakers failed to pass the English test for NMT. What's wrong with the sensation spreading on social media?
Hello guys, this is May Phoenix and today we are going to take an English test. So basically this test is designed for the graduate students from the high school who are going to apply to different universities, and so based on results we have this rating system, like rating list. So the highest goes to the has higher spots in the list of applicants, and so on. Actually, the rating system is more complicated than this, because there are coefficients for the specialty they are applying to. So if you want to apply for some engineering field, you need to have better scores in physics and math. So if you did well for biology, it's not going to work like that, because it has like minimum coefficient if you're going to apply with this result. So it's basically harder than it was when I was a graduate student, so I'm not going to dwell into that. But tonight I decided to take a test, as there pretty much for discussion about the difficulty of the test, so I decided to take one myself. There's no current test I can take for this year, so it's not available yet, but we have tests from previous years, and I would like to choose the previous, like 2024, and try it myself. So I had pretty high number when I was graduating. It was 186. Like, it's not the highest, obviously, as the highest is 200, but it was pretty neat for me, and so I decided to look what I would get. So as I'm like not a graduate student, I'm not stressing, I'm not nervous, I'm pretty calm, so we just will see and maybe talk a little how to pass it, how to think, because still I was trained to pass something similar in my school years, so I more or less know how the logic works. Let's start.
At last.
We are going to choose a test from first session. Basically, that's the main session, which take a lot of graduates, most of the graduates, because the second session is more like for someone who had problems, who couldn't take the first one. So let's start with main session, and here we go. Do I have the... No, I can see the timer, but it's probably... So this test is like big test with 4 subjects, and it goes for 4 hours. Therefore, for one subject you approximately have an hour. So let's just try to do it with our pace. Nobody rushing us, we are not in stress, we're not nervous. Let's go. So the first we have like this text with the Rocky Mountain Goat. Join the Goat team. We are looking for someone to join our team as a newspaper admin and production assistant on a part-time basis, 1-2 days per week, Monday and Thursday, 9 a.m., 1 p.m. We are looking for someone who has experience with QuickBooks, reliable vehicle, and willing to be a part of a dynamic team. Want to find out more and the contacts. Okay, good. This advertisement is for people who would like to, and we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options. Go to the zoo. So no, there's nothing about the zoo here. Get employed. Probably because as we see here, right? So we are looking for someone to join our team as a newspaper admin and production assistant on part-time basis. Okay, so probably this one. Improve their fitness, nothing here. Visit a trade show, nothing here. Yes, experience with QuickBooks, reliable week, willingness to part. Take part in celebration, no. Adopt a pet, no. Hire a vehicle, no, because we need to have a reliable vehicle ourselves. Enjoy tasty cake, also no. So basically it's B. Now we are returning and going to put a B here. So we can either write our answer, we can return later to change it. Right now let's write it like this, and or end the test. So we don't want to do it now, we didn't take it thoroughly. Okay, let's just Happy Mooncake Festival. So what we remember, we had something about cake in our options, and let's just remember that we already got the B. Okay, this is advertisement for people who would like to go to I'm sorry, let's read the advertisement first. Event highlights: Toby and friends meet and greet. It's small, actually, it's really small, so you would need to look closer. Teddy's 24 drums performances, dragon dance, kids coloring, word guessing fun challenge, lantern craft workshop, and magical clown performance. It's not about zoo, not about improving fitness. Trade show. Do we have fun challenge, craft workshop, clown performance, dragon dance, coloring, performance, meet and greet? I don't think so. Take part in a celebration, and that's, I think it is. It's more like lantern craft workshop, performance, event highlights. So this is event, probably festival, mooncake, probably something related to mooncakes. I don't know anything about mooncakes actually. I think that's something to do with the Chinese culture. Yes, like this is important part. I remember hearing something, but I can't point out what. Take part in celebration, adopt a pet, nothing about pet, nothing about vehicles, enjoy tasty cake. So we had cake only in the title, like right here, and nothing later. So I would put it like take part in celebration. So this is E for me. Okay, let's this is E for me. Yes, let's go next. This advertisement is for people. Okay, this is me now. Oh, let's just Yep. Okay. This is me now. New moves, new foods, new habits. We've got ideas to get you started today. Get help and support and better health. Better health, let's do it. So that's not getting employed, that's about health. And as I see it, it improves their fitness. Nothing about cakes, obviously. Higher we can know, adopt a pet, nothing about pets. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, maybe it's because it's just shifted. Yes. So take part in a celebration we already had. So I believe this is C. Improve fitness. C. Okay. Yes. Okay. Best car rental in town. So it's current affordable rates, cash payment welcome, no credit or insurance needed, unlimited miles, wide range of cars. We are talking about cars. Cars is a vehicle. Call us today. Definitely hire a vehicle. Sorry. A moment. So it's this one. Let's go. What to expect? We already have a pet right here. We see a cat and a dog. What to expect? A global pet expo. And we are reading. As you get ready to travel to the expo, here are the key things to expect next week. A look at the latest pet products, an opportunity to network, reconnect, and spend time with colleagues and friends. All new digital expo planning tools at your disposal. Nothing about adopting a cake. I'm sorry. Nothing about adopting a pet. If I put it, oh my god, if I put a little bit down, let's just, yes, right here. No. Oh, yes. Get employed, no. We are already employed. It's not a zoo. I'm sorry, I will just clear everything and we'll remember. So we are employed. We already improved our fitness, took part in celebration and hired a vehicle. That's Pet Expo, but it says nothing about adopting a pet. It's only about network, connects, products, and nothing about cakes. So I believe it's probably visit a trade show as a look at the latest pets, products, and trends might be this. So visit a trade show. Oh no, I hate this type thing. We have a very big text about Mintzberg. So what I like to do is to do this text gradually. So whenever I first read my question, which is for now, what motivated U.C. Ginsberg? I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I'm very sorry. To make a journal. And the options are the stories of the Holocaust survivors, the adventures of a French prisoner, the experience of his Navy service, and the life talks of his relatives. Okay. So, let's go. Make a journey. Okay. Lost in the jungle. So he got lost in the jungle. Yosef Gilberg's parents survived the Holocaust and relocated to Israel, where he was born and raised. Okay. At 19, when he was drafted to the Israeli Navy, his uncle gave him a book. He'd been through the Holocaust and told Yossi the book had protected him. As a Navy recruit, Yossi Kingsburg, not only traveled out of the country but also learned many survival tips, became fit and strong. After completing his service in 1981, Yossi became inspired to travel to Venezuela. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. By Henry Book Papillon, an autobiography about being wrongly convicted of murder in France, imprisoned in French Guyana, and eventually escaping to Venezuela. So, to make a trip to travel, Yossi was inspired by the book. Yes, Yossi felt a calling for adventure. He endured many bosses and tried many jobs to save up enough funds for the trip to explore the Amazon rainforest. So he set off on his own, hitched riders from Venezuela to Colombia, met Marcus, a Swiss teacher, and the two decided to travel together to Bolivia. An Austrian car who happened to be planning a similar expedition in search of gold, and an American photographer, Kevin, that joined, and the four men began their quest in the Bolivian jungle. So, his parents survived the Holocaust, but that's not the motivation. At 19, he was drawn to the Navy, but that's not the motivation. But his uncle gave him a book. Yes. And what about this? Became inspired to travel. And what book? The book? Okay. Book Papillon, an autobiography about being wrongly convicted of murder in France, imprisoned and in French Guyana, and eventually escaping to Venezuela. So what do we have here? We escaped to Venezuela. Okay. To make a journey, the stories of Holocaust survivors. We don't know. We know that his parents are Holocaust survivors. So this is no. This is no. Sorry. The experience of his no life took no. I think the adventures of a French prisoner might be it, but what was the book about? And as we see it, nothing else was explicitly mentioned. So French prisoner, and let's return. So what about French prisoner? About being wrongly convicted, imprisoned, and eventually escaping. So I think this is probably a B. Yes, B. Let's go. Next question is, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble. What is true according to paragraph 2? He drove a fellow traveler to Colombia. He borrowed some money from his boss. He worked hard to get money for his journey, and he planned expedition with his friends. So, return to the second paragraph, which is this one. Yes, right? This one. Okay. Felt a calling for adventure, endured many bosses, and tried many jobs to save up enough funds for the trip. He set off on his own, hitched rides, met Marcus and other people. So, fellow traveler to Colombia. It says that to Colombia he tried on his own, so it's not true. Then This is not true. Borrowed some money, no. Work hard, so he endured many bosses, so probably this one. And planned expedition with his friends, no, because he met them. Okay, so it must be C. Okay. Let's go down. Let's go down. Paragraph 3. The travel companions were unaware of the threat, but accompanied by the locals. A man were hunting for fortune and suffered serious hardships. Let's go to the third paragraph, which is this. I'm sorry. This one. The Bolivians warned the group of the danger that awaited them in the jungle, but they chose to disregard the warnings. After stocking up on provision and supplies, they headed down river deep into the jungle. And eventually they lost their way, their food ran out, and they started fighting among themselves. They discovered that Karl, in fact, was an Austrian fortune hunter who had zero experience navigating the jungle, and that split the group. Okay, so returning to our options. Were unaware of the threats. They were aware, actually, locals tried to warn them, so it's no. Were accompanied, were hunting from, we only suffered serious hardships. And let me just check one moment. What about the locals except no, it only said that Bolivians warned the group. Okay, so returning here, they weren't accompanied by the locals, though they suffered serious hardships. It's a D. What is here? What helped him to survive? Would help Yossi to survive in the jungle. Okay, so Yossi and Kevin decided to part ways with the two Europeans and build themselves a raft that would take them back to civilization. Unfortunately, after setting out, they found their raft hurtling towards the edge of a waterfall. Kevin managed to jump off in time and swim to shore, but Yossi and the raft went over the falls into a deep canyon. Yossi spent the next 3 weeks alone in the Amazonian jungle, filthy and wet, without any real food, surrounded by stinging insects and animal predators. On his 6th day in the jungle, he woke to find a jaguar ready to attack. With no weapon, he grabbed the only thing he had to hand, a can of mosquito repellent and a lighter, and improvised the flamethrower. He said, "I learned the trick from the James Bond movie." He was hallucinating and feverish when he was found on the brink of death. Without Kevin, who returned to search for his friend despite all warnings, Yossi would have died in the wilderness. He has since returned to Bolivia to thank the people who saved him. He promoted the building of an ecotourism resort with the Aboriginal people in the area and taught them how to manage it. Yossi also published several books which sold millions. Were translated into 15 languages, was published under a variety of names. Kevin and Yossi remained friends. Also, Kevin continued pursuing his work for photography. He was not as eager to return to the rainforest as Yossi. What helped? Eatable insects. Flame providing device. Adventure. His uncle advice. Okay. Nothing about uncle advice, only that he gave him a book. An adventure book. I learned the James Bond movie. He learned it from James Bond movie. as it's stated. Right. James Bond movie, so not a book. Eatable insects, nothing about stinging insects. Only that they're stinging. And no real food. Yes, any real food. Without any real food. So a flame providing device, like if he made it, can we call it a flame providing? I think we can. He made it. But learn the trick and in providing the flame thrower. I think because of this we can tell that it's a B. After all, nothing else fits. Okay. What did José Ginsberg do on returning to Bolivia? To thank the people who saved him, he promoted. Like, so we have this paragraph, right? So, since returned and published. And the people who saved him. Okay. He promoted the building. On returning to Bolivia, he published his book in 15 countries. That's 15 languages, not countries, so not really sure. He set up a business with local, like we have, he promoted the building of an ecotourism resort. Probably became famous for scenic photography. No, that was Kevin. Kevin continued photography. Thank Kevin for saving his life. I think he sent him, but it's nothing state here. Like Kevin's rescued him, basically helped him to get rescued. But next we have that he returned to the plane and they still remain friends, but nothing about thanking explicitly was stated. Note, photography, so basically I believe that must be a B. In my book it must be a B. So let's put it down as a B. Okay, now we have traveler's tales and we need to say what this traveler did. So we have a small text and we need basically to say what it is about. So this traveler, did he discover the source of the river Nile? Traveled alone to the coldest point on earth, published a book adapted in the Oscar-winning film. Former military person get enthusiasm for climbing from aboriginals. I don't know how to say aboriginals. Yep, I'm not the best person to do this test. Who would have thought? Combine ascending and flying down the summit. Okay, it's hard to even comprehend, so what does it mean? Trade in mental ideas with states people and managed to survive a traumatic accident. Frank Gardiner, award-winning news correspondent Frank Gardiner. Frank or Frank? Let's say Frank. Frank Gardiner is a journalist who has traveled extensively in the Middle East and is currently on BBC's security correspondent. His first book, Blood and Sand, was a critically acclaimed bestseller describing his experience at the airport and his recovery after being shot by a Wenda gunman. Since then, he has written far worse and documenting his travels to unusual places, as well as 2 spy thrillers. He is currently working on his third novel, which will soon be released. So, nothing about the River Nile. travel, nothing about the code, nothing about the film, nothing about whether he was in the military or not, nothing about climbing. I don't even know what this means. Like, maybe if I will think about it hard enough, I will realize. But now I just know it's not it. Shared environmental ideas, nothing about this. I believe he managed to survive a traumatic accident. So it's H, and let's go. Top British climber. Leo Houghton began climbing at the age of 10 and by 18 had become the first Briton to free climb the infamous El Capitan in California's. Well, it's too hard. Yosemite. I'm sorry for anyone that may offend because I don't know how to pronounce it the right way. Since then, he has gone on to specialize in tackling the most technical peaks and the biggest rock walls in the world. So the thing about these tasks, I usually just skip names in my head while I read it silently in my head. So
Okay.
Since then, he has gone on to specialize in tackling the most technical peaks and the biggest rock walls in the world. He also an experienced base jumper and at the forefront of paralpinism, scaling up mountains and parachuting down. On one of the Houghton's most recent group expedition, he kite-skied for 61 days across Antarctica to climb Mount Spectre, the world's most remote mountain, enduring violent storms at minus 40 temperature. No Nile. Recent group expedition, but he kite-skied. I don't even know. And it's not the coldest point. Like coldest points. So it's 1 point with minus 40. There's no creek climb. Technical piece. Okay. Nothing about this. Combined ascending and flying down the summit. Oh my god, I got it. So he kite-skied to climb. So probably is combined ascending, so he ascended the summit or the mount, and he was flying down because he was kite-skiing. So I believe it's enough. Yes, I believe so. Okay. Okay. Dr. Tara Shine is an expert in the field of climate change. Okay, climate change. Her passion for what the future could look like is drawn, and her knowledge has drawn the attention of what leaders and governments who regularly turn to her for advice. To create a positive shift in society, she founded her award-winning social enterprise, Change by Degrees. While her travels have taken her from Antarctica to the desert of Mauritania and the rainforest of Borneo, she explains why connecting to nature is so important for us and what we can do to help safeguard it for the future. Nothing about River Nine. No. Nothing about publishing a book. Social enterprise. I don't know. It's not explicit. Nothing about being in the military. And climbing. We used already that. Maybe shared environmental ideas. I mean, it's told that she is an expert of climate change. Knowledge has drawn the attention of what leaders and governments. I believe it's a G. States, people, leaders and governments, climate change. Let's go. Okay. Lewison Wood is an explorer, photographer, and writer. Okay, he's a writer whose travels have taken him around the world and onto our TV screens. That's interesting. His passion for adventure has led him to walk the length of the River Nile, travel through the Himalayas, and more recently journey 650 miles on foot to follow the world's largest annual migration of elephants across Botswana. Last year, he returned from his most ambitious expedition to date, a 5,000-mile circumnavigation of the Arabian Peninsula from Iraq to Lebanon. Lewison Wood spent a number of years as an officer in the British Parachute Regiment. British Parachute Regiment. I don't know what is Parachute Regiment. Okay, he is a writer. Led him to walk the length of the River Nile, but nothing about the source of the River Nile. Nothing about the quote. A writer, but nothing about that was a book adapted. Nothing about climbing. We use this, we use this, and we use this. So I believe he's an officer and British Parachute Regiment must do something with military. Because I personally don't know what this means. I just see the word officer and believe that it must be military. Must be. Okay. Former military person. I'm already tired. Not even the half. Almost a half, but not a half. Megan Hine is a survivor consultant. Okay, she is a survivor consultant, celebrity, expedition leader, adventurer, and she is an author. Her fascination with mountaineering, is that the word? Time spent working, living with native communities all around the world. From the San Bushmen in Africa to the Sami reindeer herders in the Arctic, Hine's understanding the vastness and advanced life skills have led her to work on television shows such as Bear, Mission Survive, Running Wild. In addition to her love for the outdoors, Hine is also keen to understand the psychology of survival and the way the human mind deals with hostile environment. Her book, Mind of Survival, draws from her vast experience of persevering, I don't know what it means, probably surviving in dangerous situations. Nothing about me. We used this, we used this, we used this, we used military. Nothing about the film on a book. Okay, to the Sami reindeer herders in the Arctic and got into them for climbing from Aboriginals. I believe that it must be E, because native communities, his fascination with mountaineering, I believe that's something to do with the climbing, comes from the time spent working and living with native communities all around the world. So I believe that must be E. Okay. Ben Thunders is one of the world's leading polar explorers and a record-breaking long-distance skier who has covered more than 4,000 miles on foot in the polar regions since 2001. More than 4,000 on foot in the polar region. He has led challenging polar expedition and completed the 105-day round trip from Ross Islands off the coast of Antarctica to the South Pole and back again that defeated the Captain Scott and Sir Ernest Shackleton. He also holds the record for the longest solo Arctic journey by a Briton. I believe it's a B. Okay, we use this. Nothing about the book here, and nothing about River Nile, so B it is. The history of tea. Okay, so we are going to have rather interesting question because we are going to find the second part or the last part of the sentences. So continue the sentences with our options. The history of tea. I don't know who, so it's that you can tell the history of tea in just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like paragraphs. I don't think it's possible. It's like the really short history of tea probably. Tea is consumed more than any other beverage in the world, and behind this everyday drink, beyond the boxes on the tea store shelf, lies a colorful and fascinating story that made its way through something. So, when dried leaves blew, no. Through keeping, no. Through the social and cultural history of many nations, probably. Through begun, no. The beverage was prepared, no. The system drying process, no. Planting tea bushes were make its way through plenty, no. To this market, the birth of tea industry in Ceylon, no. So I believe it's C. Makes its way through something, and the something is the social and cultural history of many nations. Okay, 18. Little did Chinese Emperor Shannon realize in 2737. I'm terribly sorry for the way I pronounce names. Again, BC, okay, we have here BC, something that the beverage he discovered would cause sensations around the world. Little did Chinese Emperor Shan realize in that time. Here's something, so it probably should give us more details about the time. So as I see it, little did Chinese Emperor Shan realize in this year, doing something probably, that the beverage he discovered would cause. Maybe this, when dried leaves blew into his cup of hot water, so like as a discovery. No, social and cultural is used. Practiced in no. The beverage was prepared as a medicine of no. The system drying process, no. Plenty deeper. No. When dried leaves blew into his cup of hot water. So we have here the story how the emperor discovered the tea. So little did he realize, emperor, I think it's right, he realized, empress, she, emperor, he, I don't know. Chinese emperor. Little did Chinese emperor realize in these years when dried leaves. So something happened, he realized that the beverage he discovered, yes, how he discovered, the dried leaf blew into his cup of hot water. Okay. Next, 19. Until the 3rd century AD, something with the fresh green leaves gathered from the wild tea trees. Okay, dried leaves and social we already used. Until the 3rd century AD, the beverage was prepared as a medicine or tonic. With the fresh green leaves gathered from the wild tea trees. Yes, to match supply to an increasing demand and guarantee a regular crop, farmers began to grow tea. Okay, this marked no, plenty tea bushes were there till the 3rd century AD, with the fresh leaves gathered from the wild tea trees. No, already about trees. System of drying and processing tea leaves. What? With the fresh leaves gathered from the wild trees. So basically we need like subject and object, like we have beverage was prepared, so we need verb, something was done, and we already used this. So I believe it's E. It's the most logical way. We have our sentence basic structure we needed, because without this the sentence just doesn't exist. Okay, 20. To match supply to increasing demand and guarantee a regular crop, farmers began to grow tea, and this I think were planting tea bushes wherever the land was suitable. So we use this, use this, keeping to grow tea, keeping the 1,000-year-old tradition broken doesn't make sense. Increasing began the tea ceremony doesn't make sense. System of drying processing tea leaves going to grow tea is just not going to make a full sentence. This marks the birth again. So I believe it's planting tea bushes wherever the land was suitable. So farmers began to grow tea. How? In what way? By what? By planting tea bushes. Planting tea bushes wherever the land was suitable. So we have it like G. Okay, in this year, Ceylon became major area, producing tea as the alternative to coffee crops, which failed in this decade earlier. The first tea plantations were established in Lulekontra estate near Kandy, and where else? Or maybe, and what happened? The tea were established. We use this, we use this, we use this, and this marked the birth of tea industry in Ceylon. This doesn't make sense. First tea plantation were established Kandy and began the tea ceremony that is practiced even now. I don't think that's suitable. That just doesn't make the complete sentence. And this marks the birth of tea industry in Ceylon, because we were talking about Ceylon. Something. First tea plantation were established and the birth of tea industry happened. And last one, T takes you on this long journey with innovative blends and packaging, yet keeping the 5,000-year traditions unbroken. Okay, we use this. Paper, brushes. With innovative and packaging, yet the system drawing leaves doesn't make complete sentence. And become no, keeping the we are talking about right now. It's keeping the 5,000-year-old tradition unbroken. So it's a B. Okay, now my least favorite thing, because we are going into vocabulary and grammar, and I'm usually bad at grammar and not. I don't believe I'm very bright in vocabulary. Like, it's better than grammar. At least something. Okay, Blackie, the appropriately named black cat by British recluse Ben Rea, became the Guinness Book of World Records wealthiest cat. Belonged by British? No, not by British. Owned by British. Owned by someone. Resided where? Resided in, gained something, belong to someone. So I believe it's D. It can be wrong, but I believe it's D. Okay, next. After his death, Rea left his 7 million pounds to Blackie, the last surviving the 15 cats he. Okay. Rea left his 7 million pounds fortune. Like worth 7 billion fortune, I believe. That's the most suitable word. Not money. It's all 7 million. It's pounds. It's already money. Cost. It's not cost. The human doesn't cost. Like, it's not a thing to cost. Worth something can be 7 million pound worth. You are worth it, or to know someone's worth. But I believe it's a fortune, so it's like he willed this to his cat. It's a C. Okay. The last surviving of the 15 cats he shared his mansion with. Because stayed in, there's no in. Divided, why would he divide? It's not in like, there's no sense in this one. He lived with. So, shared his mansion. He lived in his mansion with. Yes, so we need in here, stayed in here. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I believe it's N-A. Okay, next. The millionaire antiques dealer left nothing to his family members. Okay, but split the rest of his wealth between 3 cat charities with the instruction to do something his beloved pet to. Take after. Take after is like when someone trying to be like someone else. So take after him means do like him. Name after his beloved with the instruction. Name who or what? Nothing. Look after, go after. You just follow someone. Yes, go after him, follow him. And look after is to take care. So look after his beloved pet is what we are going to use. Okay, The last one, no one seems to know where Blackie is today. Probably in Lansing on his own island somewhere. On his own private island. Like own and private. Local to what? Official. Why would it be official? It's formal. No, it's private, I believe. Private islands. Basically, it's the most logical in my head combination of the words. So private island. I don't have private island, but the cat probably has. It looks like it. Now I'm going to be jealous of the cat again. Okay, and this will be, so that was lexical, yes, and now we are going to my personal hell, grammar. The world's most difficult word has been identified as Lunga from the language spoken in Congo. The most difficult word to translate, I believe, word to do something. I believe it's B. To do what? To translate. That translates like something, if I want to use D. That can be, no, that is translating, so we need something like to be. So, and translate, we cannot use it without to, so to translate we need infinitive here. I believe so. At least I believe so. Okay, the word did something. A poll conducted among 1,000 linguists. So a poll conducted, and the word will win, wins is winning, won. I don't know. Poll conducted, so the world's most difficult word has been identified. That's past time. Lunga. It already was identified. The war. A poll was conducted already. A poll conducted. Because has been identified. So it not win in the future. And this competition wins as the announcement can be. The word wins a poll conducted. Is winning right this moment? No. And I don't know, actually, wins or won. I would go with won, probably. Yes. But if it wins, I don't know why that is. I can't even think why that would be. But it's okay. If we made mistake, we made mistake. No one is perfect. Okay. Lunga means a person who, because a person who is ready to forgive any abuse for the first time, to tolerate it a second time, but never a third time. Like, I mean, a person who, it's logical, not which, because which would be for like object something, whom we know, so it's not the right word for this sentence structure, I believe, and whose life was on stake, so it's also not the right structure for this one. So A. It was too easy until now. I'm worried. I don't know grammar at all. I'm worried I will just like put end the test and everything is red. Okay. According to managing director of the translation and interpreting agency. An interpreter should translate from one culture to another culture. To the others cannot be, because culture, it's not two culture, like it's a single, yes, singular word. So other or another. To another culture, I believe it's another. To another culture. To other culture. For one moment, let's think about it again. From one culture to another. To another if we didn't have the culture, but we have the culture. Culture, we have a noun. To other culture. So it's not another, it's other. And the last one. And sometimes the equivalent idea does not exist in both cultures. Okay, in every culture would be in every culture, I believe, yes. Neither culture does not exist. It doesn't seem logical, neither culture. Why? If the word does not exist in neither of these cultures, that wouldn't be a conversation about translating, but because there's no word like, yes, in either would be used if it didn't have not, I believe so, both. Okay, the moment of truth.
At last.
How bad is it? Okay, only one mistake, and I use 54 minutes. Okay, and 31. Okay, I was wrong. It's actually I was right, then I was wrong. It's okay. So it's kinda sad because I was right on the beginning, but that's okay. I think that's pretty neat, like pretty high score, and better than when I took my exam. But in my exam I also had like we listened to the speakers. We had a text to write. I don't know. I just don't see it here because in previous versions, like previous online versions of my test, there was like the last question where was a prompt for you to write a text. So if it's not here, I believe there's no text to write. So we had a text, we had speakers to listen to, yes, audio. So yeah. What I don't like is that by making one small mistake, I already lost like 9 points. 9 points, it's large amount. And I understand that the test was made like this, so you can write in an hour. So it's shorter, so we do not have like a lot of opportunities, yes, so we have less question, and because of that the points I would say have larger distances between them, but I don't know, it's just so unfair. I mean, like, how many percent? So 19 something. So Okay, if 32 is 100, yes,
15 minutes later.
is like 96, 96, like almost like 97% of everything. So if we are talking about, so if we have 200,
1 eternity later.
194 points. But of course I understand that perhaps the thing in the is the different tasks have different weights. Still, it's like really big lose. So I lost a lot of points just by making one mistake. Okay. In conclusion, is the test hard? I mean, every test is hard, especially when you're stressed, when you're scared, because it's a big test. So, of course, this test has its difficulty, but it is possible to do. However, the point loss is big, even for one small mistake. Please don't put everything in this test. It's a test. That's it is, that it will be. It's just a test. This test is not your life. You are not gonna to be less of a person if you fail it. Don't put it above yourself. You are human, you are important, your life is important, and in the end of the day, it's just a test. Be kind to yourself, work hard, and don't stress.
3 words for you. Treat yourself.
It was my phonics, and may phonics rise again. Bye.